to Brown was from Smith to Pays. McDermott. Klug, who was one of the success stories last year, to centre-half forward. Hodges the target.
And he comes in front. The mark is held by Ingerson.
By Herman Arseri. Keeps his footies well tackled though by Bickley. This is where Adelaide had a lot of attack springboard from last year to Rowe. He just had to stop and wait for a moment. Bangs it towards Hodges, gives him a chance, and he takes a beauty.
Klug did well, stood his ground. Like a cork in the ocean, McGuinness bobbed to his feet, gets it across to Maynard. Runners everywhere now. Brown to McGuinness, measures the kick, 40 metres out. This will bring the house down.
Klug, another one there. Yes, sirree. Jamison with a fly and takes a very good mark.
He does to Kellett. Kellett's hand pass, blocked by Maynard. Immediately
Hodges is coming in late. No one able to take it. McGuinness comes off his hands. That could be a goal. Winders there on his own.
Way under, you've gone.
Toward their centre-half forward position, or that could be 50. Takes the kick and kicks to half forward.
Oh, there's a great mark.
Lip tack. Snapshot for goal by Bone. That's not a bad shot, but effort from the youngster, and he's got it.
Albertson Brown in the foreground having a bit of a dust-up. Now the ball towards centre-half forward for Adelaide. Jamison, he's got it. What a great mark.
Didn't get a chance to get second bite of the cherry. Hart.
Kick by Paxman. Oh, was that a free kick?
McQueen charging hard at the ball. Overruns it. Back to McGuinness. Left foot snapshot. What's good? He's got it.
It's just shot and kick that'll come off. Klug. Cleverly. This is Squirt, a very pacey player on the left foot. Towards half-forward. Maynard held his ground. Hand pass on. Scott Hodges an open goal. Bang, and he puts it through.
Side the attacking. Got low on the mark. With some space, he'll try to pop here and ripping it superbly. Klug. And now Jarman through the traffic. Kicks inside the 50. Magnificent kick.
Who actually supplied the shepherd, the Adelaide. Ingerson, mark! Sean Hart has been prominent. Now, champion across the goals again, and Hodges has got it!
It's back in towards full forward.
Now bang, runs into Pilkey and hustlers at the right, and balls to Scott in front to Hart. Jarman right on the wing. Jarman towards centre-half forward. Good kick. Klug stretching, takes the mark. There's a man on down towards the pocket. He ignores that. Vacant goal square. Goes the distance. Will it run on?
Great goal.
It cleared the line. High kick. Jamison from behind. Jamison. Run. Bit too easy. Wanted to go run. Liptak is on for the handball. Peters in the clear. Liptak. 35 metres out and closing. And he kicks the goal.
This is going to land 45 metres out. Hacked out of there.
Oh!
Rose have it. The hand pass to Hart. And Daryl Hart. Has it cleared the line? Yes!
Well, that makes up for that other error, because Brown, he could have given it across to Brown, and Brown was unattended and could have really run it and done something with it. But Hart got it up well. Gee, the players are throwing themselves in here. Here he is. Played on the half-back flank today and did well down there. Normally a right foot kick onto the left, and it just gets to the line. Daryl Hart, his first.
A point the margin. Adelaide lead. A great performance. They have not given in. Who'll get it out the centre? Lawrence.
Oh, they're going at it.
Oh, did they go in hard then? Socket off the ground, the half-forward. Taylor went in hard. Hooks it out. Here's Tony Hall. The leader's on. The mark has been taken by Condon. He should kick it now. He can chip it in. Oh, he's going with a long kick. In towards full forward. Dunstall. Hudson. No mark. And
Gee,
it's
there
out
was
of
some
bounds.
costly mistakes. Tasker giving Condon. He was started behind him on that occasion, and luckily down the other end, Wiedemann slipped over. Hudson was by himself and should have taken that mark on the square.
Forward pocket. A point the difference. Even a point to be handy for Hawthorn. Platten goes to ground. Holds it in. Well, it's in front of the Hawthorn goal. What will happen? That we're under the minute. 55 seconds of play left in this match.
What a finish.
Wiedemann signalling to go to the boundary line.
Oh, Lawrence copped it high.
It's going to take a brave umpire to pay a free kick here.
Oh, he copped it right across the head.
How much left?
36. 5-4. They're within a kick. A scrambled kick for a goal can win it for Hawthorn. A point, and we've got a tie. Wren did well. Condon dragged off it. Not going to get a free kick.
Oh!
McDermott, well, he went for the boundary line and it only missed being a rush behind by about a metre. A rush behind would have levelled the scores.
Oh, here he goes.
9 seconds left. Down goes Maynard. The umpire's going to ball it up. The Crows have got it. We're out of time. The Crows have won by a point. What a finish as the Adelaide Crows win only their 4th match in Melbourne and their first at Waverley. And they've beaten the Premiers by a point.
Gee, that was a fantastic effort. They were playing catch-up football all day, the Crows. And look at them, and they deserve everything they get, the Crows there. A jubilant side. They really did play well. They backed themselves in. Oh, fantastic effort. You've got to take your hat off to them.
Well, they came into the game with a record of 4 wins and 6 losses and a beat Hawthorn at the Hawks' new home ground in Melbourne. That could turn their season right around.
Dacos, still with Dacos. Well, it was just held up by Lee. Well played Jarman to Lee. Will it sit for Jarman? It does. He comes through the corridor and a great kick. Wonderful footy. A bit of strength and experience there. Pert made a blue off the ground.
Good kick by Turner. Into Dacos. Good kick, Dacos, but couldn't take it. A young player in Hart.
Lends him good support. Down towards half forward, and this time Rod Jamison takes a good mark.
Whoa! Well, it's Inglisson with the fly, comes to the front of the pack. Liptak goes to Lee. Lee round the corner, miraculous goal. Handball comes now to Marshall. Number 16 is found Ingerson. Ingerson will swing onto his left hand. He's found Brown. He should run in and goal, and that he does.
The Hart, cleverly from Schwert. Left foot for goal. Good kick, it's home.
It's still there for Lee. Off the ground, Scott Lee.
Oh, he's
Yes!
done it.
Marshall takes the mark. Into McDermott. Another bomb to the forward line. From behind. Oh, Bickley.
Here's Wren again. Schwert, clever. Jarman can go for goal. Drop puck, sizes it up and squeezes it through for second.
Chance for the Crows, the loose ball to Tasker. Tasker to Murphy, an open goal looms and Murphy slams it through.
Then Dunkley, still Dunkley. Oh, gee, he's gone without it. Murphy could make him pay with the left foot. I think he has.
Over the back was Micken. Well done as he taps it on to Saliba. Saliba breaks clear from 45 metres, bars in a goal and slams it through for a great goal.
And here's Tasker with a chance. Kicked his first goal for the season a moment ago. There's his second.
Gee, that's a good mark to Tasker. Adam Saliba, a chance now for Adelaide. A hand pass comes to McGuinness. McGuinness kicks it low on above the goal.
Kicks it up towards full forward. Oh, terrific mark. That is a great mark by Modra.
Oh, Andy Goodwin comes in.
Oh, that was a beauty.
Centre wing he goes. A big pack under. Oh, the second one of the night.
Daryl Hart. Oh, look at the crumbing. He is just absolutely brilliant at it. Hodges kick up into the goal square. Modra.
Playing well up, obviously playing in the half-forward line, named there. This looks good as they're combining Liptak and McGuinness. Tackled by Liptak, a little slow. Now the open goal, it's hard. Out the centre wing he goes. Oh, what a leap.
His kick goes inside 50 metres. Limner.
Ace in front of Lee, but well done, Scott Lee. He just got a fist to that. Desperate play. Campbell, oh, well, where did he come from? That was fantastic by Lee.
Limmer appealing for a free kick, races hard at the ball. Here's a chance. Tony McGuinness, an open goal coming up.
Wobbly kick, important ball. Oh, Jarman.
Oh,
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Drop puck passes a gem. Oh.
this is the big fella Wren. Now danger for St Kilda because McGuinness swings onto the left foot from 55 metres. Tony McGuinness ducks it through the goal. This is Tregenza. Will he kick it long? No, he dodges around. Here's Jarman, the long bomb, in towards Hodges. Hodges, was that touched? I don't think it was.
Limner, left foot round the body goal. He's going to have to kick it very quickly. Handball to row, 4 seconds. Oh, go for it.
Will it go through? It will! Over the back is Ross, big mark.
Jarman, out in front. Hodges! Wren from 50. Wren has goal.
Crowd nothing doing. Wren gets the hand pass up to Tregenza. Jarman goes back to McGuinness, who thumps for goal and has kicked another one.
Certainly.
One-on-one up towards Modra. Modra there, too strong. Oh, what a goal, he moves it.
Aaron Smith thumped it forward. Rowan Smith gives himself some space, bends it back around the corner. Could he kick it? It's a miracle goal.
Stevenson wants it. It goes towards that player. Stevenson! Oh, that's a fine mark.
First Norwood player to reach the magical 300 game mark, eclipsing the previous club record of 292 games held by Phil Gallagher. The 1981 Magarey medalist has had another great year in what's been a decorated career. It's included 14 games for South Australia, the state captaincy and twice named an All-Australian. His teammate at the parade, Keith Thomas, made his debut in the same year as Aish back in 1979. Fittingly, Thomas this year also joined the 300 game club, just getting there in the last minor round game of the season. Sturt captain John Painter has been a great player for the Blues since joining the club from Glenelg in 1983. The four-time best and fairest winner brought up game number 300 during this year's Foundation Cup Series. Glenelg gave John Seabohm a testimonial game this year, with the long-time Tiger defender contemplating retirement from league football, having played 316 games for the Bays. No such plans for Port Adelaide captain Greg Phillips, who's fast approaching the 350-game milestone. There's 20 state games in that lot and a staggering 7 premierships, but he's still searching for that first one as captain. And down Prospect Way, Michael Redden just keeps on going. In July, he chalked up game number 350, a club record. He's travelled more than 20,000 kilometres from his Burkina farm to play league football, the well-worn road set to take another battering in 1993.
From Port Adelaide, a magical player, skillful, talented, you name it. This young man has got it, and he deserves to be, of course, the favourite for the Magarey medal.
And number 30 for the Eagles is Robbie Pyman, their centreman. He's had a marvellous season. He finds a lot of the football, but more importantly, he knows how to use it. He finds the open spaces, and I think he'll poll well tonight.
Michael Aish, of course, can he win his second Magarey medal? Certainly a champion in every true sense of the word. Plays the game as the game is designed to be played, and he certainly will have an undeniable chance.
Nicholas Chigwidden wears number 21 for the Tigers. He's at the bottom of the packs, and he has that vote-catching asset, the blonde hair. He's been touted as a favourite or a possibility in the past, and who knows, maybe tonight will be his night.
Another blondie, of course, comes from the North Adelaide Football Club, young Brodie Atkinson. Had a tremendous year, great start to the season, and there's the skill of the young man, and I'm sure he'll catch the attention of the umpire.
By Colby coming through again. Colby's kicked to centre-half forward. Anderson, he plays it on. He knows how to shift this fella down to full forward. Fred Phillips, he'll get the free kick, mark and everything else.
Here they'll contest a couple of metres out. Murphy from behind.
Chance now for Buckley outside the 50 towards Modra. With him is Porter. Modra.
Chalmers over his shoulder. That's a very good effort. That's a great goal. Porter did very well. Evans concedes it behind. There's the siren.
They've eloped in towards the goal. Bangs it up there for Glenelg. Weston it is. Oh, look at that mark. Little high.
The Regalo, the best mark you've ever seen.
Right, mate.
Can't do much. Over the top, gets it out. Here's a chance for Langeline. Hall for 50 metres. Drives towards goal. Yeah! I think he's kicked the goal. He has. He's kicked the goal. What a sensational goal. Harry, I think. Harry has kicked the goal. What a sensational goal. And the co-winners hang on. 27 and a half minutes gone. and I can't read the scoreboard. So, great mark, Brown Smith. He's going to kick a goal. Yeah! Another one. It's all over at Football Park. Puts their glasses down. Tony France, the Portugal from Bays. The siren's gone. It's all over. South Australia won it. South Australia, 19-19. 133 has defeated Victoria 18-12, 120, a margin of 13 points.
Taken by Neiman, there's a goal. How's that for luck? Oh, buy a lottery ticket.
Headland working hard, back to Michael Ace on the left leg. Oh, what a goal that is! Oh, Michael Ace, you are a champion. Miss it completely. Jones in, keeps it in play. Oh, does he's going to kick a goal! Oh, what a goal! Unbelievable stuff. Taken away by Buckley, playing in better mood now. This could go to Tyler again. Oh, open goal, and now he's got 5. Quickly in now is Lamb. He'll get it away to Chig Whitten. He in turn gives it over now to Butterick. Butterick goes for home with a long one, and it's in!
Tongery now has the ball. Shane Tongery goes back onto the left boot. Not a bad attempt, and he split the centre. That was a beautiful snapshot, and the youngster's pretty happy about it.
A beautifully placed kick, well taken by Atkinson, who got the ball to bounce nicely to him. Inside 50, lifting the eyes. It's a hurried kick forward. Could it bounce through? Oh, Naz!
Get under the kick game. Bartlett, Delaney, thumped away. Chance for Bartlett. Into an open goal. Can he kick it? I think he can. 4 points in the Tony Park. What a goal.
Port Adelaide looking better in this third quarter towards full forward. Hugging opportunity. Hammering over the top. Hart comes in. Back out the bound. What a goal.
High up towards Bone. One grab, can't complete it. Tries to get the kick off the ground. It's going to be close. Don't tell me. It's a goal.
Out wide is Josh May. He traps it nicely. Will he be able to curl it back? It's not a bad attempt. He puts it to the head of the square. In fact, he put it through the middle. Great goal, Joshy May.
Drummond, O'Donoghue, Drummond. O'Donoghue tries to suck it off. Morris does that. He can't get it. He gets it on the second time, and Western Lanes have got a goal.
The target will be Turner. He has the set. Barn did well. The ball hits the ground. Good tackle by Perkins. Picked up by Little Noonan. He goes towards goal. It's 5 goals this quarter to the Roosters as Noonan kicks his first.
Through the centre line. Kretschmer won't give it away. Drives in long up towards Tyler. Ducked away. Setry off the ground. Can't get it. Looking to pass off. Tyler, point blank range. I think he's got it.
Coffey's got the sit here. Oh, it's a beautiful grab. He's looking for Schaefer. Oh, tremendous mark by Schaefer.
Up towards Michael Ace. Keeps it on the ball. Oh, what a mark, Michael Ace. Goes high up there and rustles the big leaper.
Front position lead. Oh, it's a huge grab there. That's a gem.
On as the Hawks began 1992 where they left off on the same ground just 6 months earlier. After trailing Geelong by 5 goals, they bounced back to win by 20 points. The star, undoubtedly Jason Dunstall, who kicked a dozen, just as he did against the Cats in round 1, 1990. That night, Brisbane opened its account with 3 sizzling quarters under the Carrara lights before a total fade-out gave Carlton victory by 4 goals. Kernahan kicked 5. The huge, noisy, parochial Adelaide crowd were quietened by Footscray. Bulldogs were inspired by skipper Hawkins and upset the Crows by 27 points. 44,000 were at Waverley Park to see St Kilda end a 20-game losing streak against Essendon. Lockett was awesome with 7 goals, and Stuart Lowe took 18 grabs. the Saints by 17 points. Streak against Brisbane with a 66-point win at Victoria Park, and North Melbourne demolished Richmond at the MCG. But then round 2 underwent one of the great turnarounds in league history. Hot favourites and reigning day and night premiers Hawthorn had no answer to the Stephen Silvani-inspired Carlton. Silvani capped a great comeback after injury to kick 8 goals. The Blues by 26 points. Alan Jakovich kicked 7 goals and was the man who sparked Melbourne's upset win over Geelong. Goal of the day went to Andrew Lamprell. This was his first kick in the big time. The shocks continued on Sunday. Sydney survived a torrid fight back from the West Coast Eagles to win by 3 points. Footscray quelled the goal-kicking genius of Tony Lockett and produced a hero of their own in skipper Doug Hawkins to win by 32 points. And the lowly Lions thrashed Essendon. Successive losses for the Bombers, but for Fitzroy, a win worth savouring. Lost to Carlton with a 26-point win over North at the MCG. The return of Brereton and the brilliance of Platten helped the Hawks dominate the game, especially in the third quarter when they piled on 8 goals. Melbourne had a home game at Princess Park. I wish they were anywhere else, as Adelaide snatched an 11-point win. Peter Dacos kicked 4 goals against Sydney, including this stunner. And Collingwood at home were victorious by 19 points. Geelong's 4th biggest win in history, a massive 126 points, highlighted the frailties in the young Richmond side. Scott kicked 7 goals in a best-of-field performance, while Darcy kicked 6. At the Western Oval, Essendon responded to their critics by defeating Footscray. The margin 22 points, with Long a great performer. The West Coast unveiled a secret weapon named Metropolis at Subiaco on the Sunday. He thanked them for their confidence with 6 goals on debut, and that was enough to stop. But that was nothing like the pressure Carlton would apply to North in a frenetic final quarter to open round 4. The Blues, with DeUligo kicking 5 goals, won their 3rd straight. Also undefeated on top was Collingwood. The Magpies won their replay of the 1990 Grand Final against Essendon, surviving a 6-goal fight back from the Bombers and counting the cost with 7 injured players. Richmond gave Alan Jeans his first win with his new club, upsetting the disappointing Demons. And Fitzroy was entrenched in 4th spot after accounting for Adelaide. It was the best start to a season for 5 years by the troubled Maroons. At Moorabbin, Lockett and Lowe gave St Kilda a dream 8-goal start against the reigning premiers. But Hawthorn provided the nightmare as they rolled home. St Kilda by 10 points, thanks to Lockett's 6th within minutes remaining. Footscray made it 3 from 4, Delray kicking 7 against Sydney. In Perth, Gary Ablett, the retiring jam from Geelong, played his 150th. He gathered 36 possessions, took the best 2 marks of the day, kicked 5 goals, including a couple off the ground, and helped the Cats to their first win in Perth. An 11-goal second quarter, incidentally, helped sink the Eagles. Upsets, Essendon dropped its longest-serving player, Simon Madden, for the first time in a decade. And then stunned reigning premiers Hawthorn at Waverley Park. Star for the Bombers was Madden's heir apparent, Paul Salmon. Footscray consolidated 2nd place with 4 wins from 5 games, thanks to a 39-point win over North. At Princess Park, Carlton's unbeaten run came to an end at the unlikely hands of Sydney. But that merely set the scene for the shock of the round. Under lights at Carrara, a youngster named Ray Windsor, playing his first senior game for the year, drew the match between last year's grand finalists, the West Coast Eagles, and the reigning Wooden Spooners from Brisbane. For the Bears and young Windsor, it was a kick to savour. Nearly 40,000 saw Adelaide predictably whitewash Richmond on the middle day of the Easter triple treat. The next day, Collingwood had to struggle for much of the match before finally overwhelming Melbourne. Again, the magic of Dacos provided the transformation. St Kilda overcame miserable kicking for goal to stop Fitzroy, and the hero was Stewie Lowe, his marking power just the difference. To a halt in round 6 before 72,000 at Waverley Park. The Magpies' first loss of the season was inflicted by a Hawthorn side, spearheaded by Jason Dunstall, who kicked 9 goals. Carlton were blitzed by the Saints' Lockett, who kicked 6 before half-time. But in the second half, they kept him kickless and snatched an 8-point victory. Essendon trailed by 47 points against Melbourne in the last quarter and got up by a point. Salmon the magician with 7 goals. Hodges kicked 8 in Adelaide's 10-goal win over Brisbane. Gary Ablett was again outstanding as Geelong made it 3 from 5 with a 98-point win over Fitzroy. And in a cruel twist, the the West Coast came from behind to beat Richmond. For the second time in 2 days at the MCG, last quarter revivals resulted in 1-point thrillers. Of the biggest. His 17 goals against Richmond from 25 kicks and 18 marks took him within one of Fred Fanning's 45-year-old mark. Melbourne followed up a 1-point loss to Essendon with a draw against Sydney. Jim West doing the damage for the Swans in the last seconds. Lockett continued his amazing run against Adelaide, 10 in a 74-point win, taking him to 32 goals in his 3 matches against the Crows. Footscray retained top spot on the ladder with a storming win over Carlton at the MCG on Sunday. Atkins again outstanding for the Dogs. The West Coast Eagles weren't travelling well. At North Hobart Oval, they suffered at the hands of the resurgent Lions, going down to the ruse-inspired Fitzroy by 20 points. All else failed, however, at Carrara, where Geelong kicked the highest score in league history. A 14-goal last quarter took them to 37-17, 239, eclipsing Fitzroy's old mark by a point. Gary Ablett kicked a modest 9 goals. Under 8, a match billed as the clash of the century. But for football centurion Collingwood, it was one to forget. Carlton, with Kernahan supreme, produced the big result on the big night. In a warm-up for their State of Origin showdown, Sydney thrashed Brisbane. Ruckman Brad Tunbridge outstanding. For the second week in a row, Geelong topped 30 goals. Inspired by Ablett and Brownless up forward, the Cats grabbed top spot on the ladder. Longmire kicked 7 in North's win over Essendon. Osborne was on target with 8 as Fitzroy accounted for Richmond, while Tony Lockett was subdued as St Kilda won by 10 goals against Melbourne. Footscray's rule at the helm of the AFL table was ended in Perth when the West Coast Eagles showed traces of their 1991 form with a 59-point win. Brett Hetty returned with 7 goals. The top 6 with its 3rd win in a row, this time under lights against North at the MCG. The West Coast's dismal record away from Perth was improved with a 24-point win over Carlton. The Blues' Silvani scored 8 of his side's meagre 11-goal tally. The records continued to tumble for Geelong. Their total of 181 points was the club's best against Essendon, The supercharged Cats stayed on top of the league ladder. Melbourne were becoming the easy beats. They succumbed to Hawthorn by 12 goals. The young Tigers upset Sydney for win number 2. Footscray slogged it out in the wet for a very hard-fought victory over Brisbane. And all of Adelaide, it seemed, turned out for the big one against Collingwood. Magpies were making their AFL debut at Football Park and celebrated with a heart-stopping 5-point win. Gavin Brown outstanding for the visitors.
You won't be there now. You're the real thing. Yeah, the real thing. You're the real thing. Even better than the real thing. Yeah.
This time at home in the rain against Adelaide. The next day, Geelong's goal-scoring spree came to an end when the Dacos-inspired Collingwood overcame a slow start at Waverley Park. The mercurial Magpie kicked the goal of the day before going down with a shoulder injury. Melbourne hadn't won since a shock victory over the Cats in March. They returned to the winners list with a 6-goal win over North. Newcomer Sean Charles kicking 5. David Rhys-Jones came back. He kicked 5 in Carlton's win over Essendon. Lockett kicked 12 in an annihilation of the Brisbane Bears at Moorabbin, and big men Scott Wynd and Glenn Coleman combined in Footscray's ladder-topping victory over Richmond. Vintage play by Darren Jarman set up one of Dunstall's 7 goals, but the Hawks weren't extended in Sydney. Continued in round 11 when the Demons succumbed meekly to Carlton. They failed to score in the last term. Brisbane's horror run continued, a 10-goal thrashing, this time at the hands of the young Tigers. Paul Roos led Fitzroy to one of their great victories in recent years and did it from the front, kicking the winning goal in the last minute to give the Lions a 3-point win over Collingwood. At Cardinia Park, there was another heart-stopper and another 3-point result. The Lockett-less Saints were overtaken by Geelong, with Paul Brown kicking the sealer for the Cats. After 3 straight losses, Essendon returned to the winners list with a 43-point win over Sydney at the MCG. Adelaide inflicted North Melbourne's 7th loss from 10 games, and Footscray jumped clear on top of the ladder with a great win over reigning premiers Hawthorn. Del Rey kicked 5 in the Bulldogs' 34-point triumph. Wasn't short on drama. The West Coast had their first win over North at the MCG. One-time merger mates Footscray and Fitzroy were playing with newfound pride. The Bulldogs kicked 11 in the 3rd quarter, and with Atkins running riot, held on to top spot on the ladder. Essendon accounted for Richmond with Somerville kicking 5. Bottom side Brisbane continued Melbourne's horrid run of outs at Carrara. Gary Ablett thrilled the 60,000 crowd at the MCG with a first half that produced 5 goals. It was enough to sink the Blues. On the Monday, 2 thrillers. Adelaide upset Hawthorn by a point with Hart steering through the clincher. The Crows had won their first game at Waverley Park. But at the MCG, more than 80,000 saw another nail-biter. Devonport was publicly slated by coach Ken Sheldon, but he bounced back to snap the winning goal and give St Kilda a 1-point win over Collingwood.
Which players won the ride? A champion will walk out.
and gave skipper Gary Ayres something to celebrate in his 250th game. The high-scoring Cats did it again, kicking 29 goals against the hapless North Melbourne at the MCG. Carlton made it 8 from 12 with a hard-fought 23-point win over Adelaide. And then at Moorabbin, it was another one of those Tony Lockett extravaganzas. The Saints' big man posted 15 goals, 4 from 20 kicks. And in between dabbled in a bit of old-time wrestling. Sydney weren't in the show. Footscray stayed a game clear on top by thrashing Melbourne. The margin a whopping 107 points. And Essendon made hard work of bottom-side Brisbane at Carrara. The match of the round saw Collingwood recover from a hopeless position in the dying minutes to win by a point over the Eagles in Perth. After successive losses by a kick, the Magpies watched young Troy Lehman kick them home by the narrowest possible margin. Lights, and they could thank John Longmire, who kicked 7. Darren Jarman soared to the heights as Hawthorn and West Coast staged a grand final rematch at Waverley Park. But this day the tables would be turned. The Eagles took the honours. Lockett kicked 7 in the first half against Richmond. And after he retired hurt, fellow forward Stewie Lowe kept up the momentum with 8. Co-tenants Fitzroy and Carlton did battle at Princes Park. The Lions this day with a last quarter charge. Geelong thrashed Sydney, but at a cost, losing big men Burke and Stoneham with injuries. Collingwood complained long and loud as their match against ladder leaders Footscray was transferred to the MCG. It mattered little. For the 4th time in as many rounds, it was a nail-biter for Magpie fans. They survived by a goal. A 10-goal final quarter burst gave Essendon an upset in Adelaide. Salmon the hero with 9. Kyle thrashing the Sydney Swans by 67 points. Carlton's finals aspirations took a dive when the Blues fell to Richmond by 3 points. Fitzroy too stumbled at the hands of a rejuvenated Melbourne, led from the front by skipper Gary Lyon. The full forwards again starred. Peter Sumich kicked 11-8 in the Eagles' demolition of Essendon. And Tony Lockett kicked 9 and took a swag of memorable marks as the Saints snuck home against North. The top 2 teams met at Cardinia Park, and 2 late goals from skipper Bairstow enabled Geelong to clear away from Footscray on the ladder. Not that Paul Couch would remember much about it. And at Carrara, the steal of the round, Hawthorn's Tony Hall took the big grab and kicked the clincher with less Melbourne in Perth. Sumich kicked 5, but the home team withstood the spirited challenge to win by 22 points. At Geelong, many thought the Cats would maul the out-of-sorts Hawks, who were desperately trying to stay in touch with the 6. With Paul Deere and ruckman Stephen Lawrence back, the Hawks continued their recent dominance over the Cats. A match highlighted by Jason Dunstall's 9 goals, which enabled him to break the century for the 3rd time in his illustrious career. Another player amongst the goals was Collingwood's Peter Dacos, who booted 7 against the Tigers, despite missing a month with a shoulder injury. And at the MCG, Essendon burst St Kilda's bubble. Tony Lockett failed to kick a goal for the first time in 4 years, which had to make 6 compulsory changes, played inspired football to beat St Kilda at Moorabbin, the first team in 12 months to achieve the feat. Another fine effort was produced by the Blues. For the 2nd time in the season, they beat Hawthorn, despite the reappearance of Dermot Brereton, who'd missed 12 weeks after hip surgery. In the match of the round, North Melbourne won a nail-biter against Richmond. In the dying seconds of the match, this free kick against Roos fullback Mick Martin could have spelt disaster. The North defender was none too pleased. But instead, a fickle wind at Princes Park had the final say. The Roos won by a point. Mick Martin breathed a sigh of relief. And in another cliffhanger, Essendon continued its climb up the ladder with a thrilling 3-point win over early season frontrunners Fitzroy at the North Hobart ground. It became the first team in 1992 to win a quadrilla of interstate matches. And they ground out an 18-point win over the Swans at the SCG. Hawthorn's dominance of North Melbourne continued. The brown and gold machine, inspired by the dynamic Darren Jarman, beat the Roos for the 13th successive time, dating back to 1984. At the MCG, Essendon continued its surge towards a finals berth by winning its 7th match from 8 encounters, in downing Footscray for the 2nd time in '92. The biggest shock of the round occurred at Princes Park, when the Bears, thanks to 8 goals from Rod Owen, won their first match in Melbourne for 3 years by upsetting Fitzroy. St Kilda, desperate to consolidate in the 6 after losses to Essendon and Footscray, produced a big win over the Eagles in the wet at Waverley Park. West Coast's 66-point loss was its worst performance for 3 years. And a ferocious Melbourne caused more frustration for Adelaide by by becoming the 4th Victorian-based team to beat the Crows at Football Park.
Unless, 1 vote. Collingwood, T. Francis, 2 votes. Hawthorn, J. Platten, 3 votes.
Thank you, Ross. We'll take a break from the medal count and welcome our inductees into the infamous All-Australian Plays of season 1992. Yes, this year our inductees have used various modes of transport, one unforgettable by bathtub. They've arrived by air. And in the case of Nigel Smart, trodden over hot coals just to join this elite group. Did I say smart? Well, smart is perhaps the best way of describing Anthony Black's first up routine between the vertical beams.
Oh, look at that. Beautiful balance. Oh, lovely routine.
Now that shows initiative, as did Darren Flanagan when he handballed between Chris Grant's legs, while Darren Jarman showed plenty of flair when he amazingly decided to blind turn no one in particular. Not that Jim Steins would have known anything about that because he was KO'd by Andrew the Slam Dunkley. Hawk Scott McGuinness was involved in one of the more unfortunate incidents of season 92 when he was accidentally kneed in the groin by teammate Ray Jenke, and boy, did that hurt. Don't worry, Scott, I'm sure they're both still there. And as Mark Harvey discovered, 2 balls are better than none. I know it's embarrassing, but I just read this. Whoever writes this rubbish should be made to change places with Footscray's Dougie Hawkins. Or worse still, made to kick like Collingwood's James Manson. Oh, poor old James. Well, at least he didn't fall for the old 3-card trick. No way, James is far too intelligent to be caught out like that. But, James, watch out for Leon. Oh, no. Give the boy a rap and look what happens. The best first-year commentator goes to this charming young lady, former bomber Tim Watson. Always accurate, always concise.
There's a blustery wind. I think it's favouring the left of screen, although I went out onto the ground at the end of the reserves game and it was blowing both ways.
Oh, Tim, it's enough to give you the sheiks of the SCG had plenty to dance about. The preview of Doug Hawkins' new career, the Phantom of the Western Oval. Now, careful, fellas, you are on national television here, so how does that old saying go? More than 2 shakes is a pulling down of screamers is a very special part of Aussie rules. Isn't that right, Justin? And now the ham of the year. And who else but Andrew Jarman could show off like this in front of a hostile crowd? But now the drama returns as we rejoin Anthony Black for his second routine. You'll notice the degree of difficulty has increased significantly with the use of both hands, especially during the double reverse flag twirl. And to complete his routine, he shows us the triple diagonal flag filing dismount. Superb! Once again, Anthony has displayed a very polished performance. Well, that just about wraps up our 92 All-Australian Hall of Infamy, but I'll leave you with a tribute to one of the greatest Australians of all, the humble meat pie. Nothing is more elementary than eating a 4 and 20 on a wet Brisbane day on the 17th of May. Now, just a word of warning, of course, you mustn't spill the sauce, because it's hot, causes pain, while on clothes it may well stain. So remember, if you can't keep the sauce off your wind cheater, you'll fail to be a great Aussie pie eater. And wouldn't it be a great crying shame to have to appear in this Hall of Fame? Thank you. No, thank you. You've been too kind. Thank you. Thank you.
Severely damaged Essendon's finals hopes with a 22-point victory in front of more than 88,000 spectators at the MCG. St Kilda, shaping up as a grand finalist, thrashed Hawthorn by 75 points, the club's biggest win over the Hawks since 1965. To top off a great day for the Saints, Tony Lockett kicked his 100th goal for the 3rd time in his career. The Eagles bounced back after being hammered by St Kilda to knock the stuffing out of Geelong, which had only tasted defeat once in the previous 8 weeks. Melbourne continued its late-season resurgence, beating Richmond by 75 points. But the biggest winning margin of the round was Adelaide's 85-point drubbing of the Lions, whose September aspirations disappeared. Elimination final between long-time protagonists Hawthorn and Essendon turned into a fizzer when the Hawks produced a stunning brand of football. The reigning premier was superb, kicking 8 goals per quarter to record a massive 160-point victory, the club's biggest ever win over the Bombers. Full forward Jason Dunstall returned to form by booting 12 goals 8. At Waverley Park, Footscray continued its solid form by shrugging off North Melbourne in what was widely seen as a danger game. The Bulldogs were rarely threatened and won by 8 goals. At Moorabbin, St Kilda played its last match at its home ground of 27 years and beat a gritty Fitzroy by 17 points. It was a bittersweet moment for the big crowd when the final siren sounded. The upset of the round belonged to Melbourne, who shocked arch-rival Collingwood at Victoria Park. The loss cost the Pies top spot on the ladder. And up at the SCG, the Blues' finals hopes looked shot to pieces, and they trailed the Swans by 33 points during the third quarter. But they responded to snatch a thrilling 9-point win. For the Swans, it was their 11th straight loss. Miserable season continue when they lost their 12th consecutive game, this time against North Melbourne under lights at the MCG. Hawthorn continued its dominance over Collingwood, and in beating the Pies for the 18th time in 20 encounters, kept the pressure on the Blues, who were hanging on grimly to 6th position. At Waverley Park, 24 hours later, it looked as though St Kilda was going to do the Hawks a big favour by outplaying Carlton in the first half. But the Blues, inspired by the likes of Kernahan and Dorotich, produced an 11-goal third term, which not only sank the Saints, but badly damaged Hawthorn's chances of yet another finals appearance. At Subiaco, the Eagles were forced the whole way by a gallant Richmond before running out winners by 20 points. Geelong cemented its position in the top 2 with a workmanlike win over Fitzroy, its first win against the Lions at Princess Park for 16 years. At the MCG, Essendon bounced back from its 26-goal hiding against Hawthorn to beat the Demons. It'd been making a habit of shaping the 6th.
Which players won the ride? The champion will walk out
Lights at the Wacker, but it came at a price, with Peter Sumich again damaging a hamstring. Carlton won its 6th match on the trot by belting Footscray by 82 points at Princess Park. Blues captain Stephen Kernahan was supreme, booting 7 goals. At Cardinia Park, Geelong all but parcelled up top spot with a 93-point win over the Bears in a spiteful clash. The Hawks also had a big victory, hammering Richmond by 84 points, the 14th successive time Hawthorn had beaten the Tigers. Jason Dunstall kicked 12 goals in another dominant performance. The MCG, Collingwood had to withstand a spirited North Melbourne fight back. A goal to Severio Roca, with 16 seconds of the match to go, kept the Pies in the 6. But the bigger shock was Adelaide's fighting win over St Kilda, who saw the Saints' finals hopes crash. Hawthorn moved into the 6 at their expense, standing contest between Carlton and Collingwood. The winner would secure a final spot. The loser had only one more chance to make the finals. All roads led to Waverley. The 77,357 fans turned up to watch the desperate Magpies claw their way to a 16-point victory after kicking 5 goals to 1 in the last quarter. The Bulldogs, who'd beaten the Eagles only once in 9 matches, virtually won the match in the first quarter by booting 3 goals to 0. In fact, the Eagles' first goal didn't materialise until the 20-minute mark of the final quarter. The shock of the round was at Football Park, where the Crows thrashed Geelong, the league leader, by a staggering 91 points. Spearhead Scott Hodges provided a focal point, kicking 11 goals. And speaking of goals, 5 by St Kilda's Tony Lockett in his club's last home and away match of the season enabled the Saints to squeeze back into the 6. A wooden spoon between the Swans and Richmond. Unfortunately for the Sydney-siders, they took the inauspicious prize when they lost their 15th straight match. It was also a sad night for rover Stevie Wright, who retired after 246 games with the Swans. The Hawks needed to win to be assured of an 11th straight finals appearance, and for most of the afternoon, the result looked a formality. But the Demons hit back hard in the last quarter to get to narrow the margin to 7 points. But a couple of good steals and this heroic act by Paul Deere enabled the reigning premier to hold off the Demons. Collingwood won another close shave. This time the Pies came from behind to snatch a 5-point victory against the in-form Crows. At Waverley Park, the football world bade farewell to 2 Essendon champions, Simon Madden and Terry Danaher. The pair, with a total of 690 games, were joined by another ex-captain, Tim Watson, in a lap of honour before the match. Finally, the season came down to the 165th and final home and away game of the year. Carlton needed to beat the Eagles at Subiaco to deny St Kilda a piece of the September action. But the home team started in sensational fashion, with 7-0 in the first quarter. The Blues went down fighting, but it wasn't enough. And
Of age, I think Scott has already matured into one of the great ruckmen that Australian football has seen. Scott, this is a particular pleasure for me, being a representative of the Footscray Football Club. It's really a magnificent year you've had, and I really do have great pleasure in hanging this round your neck as the 1992 Brownlow medalist. Well done. And be upstanding to drink a toast to our...
The year, the versatile Paul Roos is again All-Australian skipper. He was named at full-back. Essendon's 19-year-old Gavin Wanganeen edged out Hawthorn's triple premiership defender Andy Collins in the other pocket. The half-back line is a beauty. Mil Hanna capped off a great season for Carlton with selection on one flank. At centre half-back is Geelong's strong marking forward come backman Barry Stoneham. And alongside him is teammate Ken Hinkley, the one-time Lion retaining his coveted All-Australian status. 432 kicks, the most in the AFL this season, saw Mick McGuan an obvious selection, although he was slightly surprised to find himself named as a wingman. Darren Jarman can be one of the most spectacular players in the game. His favoured ahead of Footscray's Simon Atkins in the middle. Only one Eagle in the team, that honour falling on Dean Kemp. His magnificent season earned him a spot on the wing. St Kilda's talented forward line was honoured. Robert Harvey named on a flank. At centre half forward, the man with the massive hands, Stewie Lowe. What a pair. On the other flank, with 69 goals to his credit and the reputation as the most dangerous man in the game, who else but Geelong's Gary Ablett? The second roving berth might well have gone to Tony Liberatore or Barry Mitchell, but the sheer pace and ability of Adelaide's Tony McGuinness saw him honoured. Coleman medalist Jason Dunstall is at full forward. 145 goals made sure of that, but just to be on the safe side, Tony Lockett, last year's choice, was named in the pocket. A deadly two-pronged attack. With 200 marks and a batch of media awards, Scotty Wine underlined the brilliant season he's had with the first ruck post. All-Australian vice-captain is Crows skipper Chris McDermott. The game's leading disposer farmed out the ball an incredible 720 times. Another South Australian is first rover, 1987 Brownlow medalist and Hawthorn star Johnny Platten. The interchange bench was honoured with the appointment of Carlton skipper Steve Kernahan. 83 goals and a great season were reasons enough. Alongside him, grand final skipper Mark Bairstow retains his place in the All-Australian 20. Terry Wheeler bowed out of the premiership race by taking Footscray into third position, but tonight he was honoured as coach of the team. And the man in white, captain for the second year in a row at full-back. 4 others, Hinkley, Lockett, Lowe and Bairstow, honoured again with selection. Last year, Hawthorn won the premiership, and not one player won All-Australian honours. This time, Geelong has 4 representatives and the West Coast 1. Jason Dunstall, the runner-up, and Ken Hinkley third. Then Lowe with 16, Jarman 14, Carey 14, Kickett 13, and Harvey on 12. Both 12. Liberatore, gee, Footscray did well, didn't they? And Kellett both 12. And at Geelong, Bairstow 11, Platten 11 from Hawthorn, Gleeson from...
Phone vote could win you a Mitsubishi Magna. Mark 2, Wayne Wiedemann, Adelaide. Mark 3, Darren Jarman, Hawthorn. Mark 4, Darren Wheeldon, Fitzroy. Mark 5, Nicky Winmar. Are brought to you by BP. BP, on the move.
As far as the half-back line, White, probably the first mistake he's made, but oh, look at the skills of White. And a short little pass, may have been better to go longer, but he's followed it up, picked it up now, eluded one player, shoots in towards goal. There is a magical piece of football.
Red flying over the top. Devonport hard against the boundary line. Snaps. That's the impossible goal, and I think he's kicked it.
Let's have a look at what Derek Kickett can do with this.
Oh my God!
He's a little too far. Dacos at the back. Can he produce something special here?
Oh, no.
Yes, he can.
Pulls it back, it's bending back. Ugle is down there once, twice, couldn't hang on. Kemp, no space in which to operate, makes something out of nothing, snaps and kicks one of the goals of the season.
Now look at the 1992 goal of the year.
Only as
a break at the net.
Lawrence versus Smith. Lawrence over the back. Ben Allen was in there. Here's a chance for the Crows. Scott Lee to half forward. Langford went without it. Here's a chance for Darryl Hart on the left foot. He kicks a goal, and he puts it out on the full, I think.
He had Brown running past. He could have got it across there, and he tries to screw it back himself.
Well, here's
I'm going to be a hero here. I better look for someone to blame. Brownie, what did you call?
2 minutes and 14 seconds of play left, and Hawthorn lead by 5 points.
Oh, fantastic contest here at Waverley. The Crows in attack. A goal will put them in front. McDermott. This is going to land 45 metres out. Hacked out of there. Oh. Crows have it. The hand pass to Hart. And Darryl Hart. Has it cleared the line? Yes!
I obviously knew I messed up pretty bad the kick before, and it just happened to bounce to me, and I thought, well, here we go. But I actually thought it was touched there, and then with great relief realised it went through.
6.5 minutes remaining. That might have been it, but it's not, and the Saints still have a chance. Shanahan straight down the centre. Ross set himself. Micken tapped it forward. Harvey's been busy in the last quarter. Caught. Play on call. Ross's handball. McDermott maybe should have left it for Hart. Goes for goal. Rolling goal. A goal. The captain has kicked the goal, which could sink the Saints. 13.
At that stage, I had no idea where I was. Just wanted the game to finish. I didn't want Darryl to get the goal, and just thought I'd hog it because Jar and I had a $50 bet as to who'd finish with most goals at the end of the year. Bad luck, Andrew, I just said.
McDermott had his 300th senior game last week against Fitzroy. Opportunity here. McQueen charges hard at the ball. Overruns it. Back to McGuinness. Left foot snapshot. Looks good, and he's got it.
Well, I've been around the goals for a while, waiting to get hold of it. As you can see, Johnny Klug didn't want to handball it there, and the ball luckily spilled off the pack and fell on top of it and just happened to pick it up and put it through for a goal. I think they commonly call that type of goal a goal out your backside.
Tense, tight match. So much at stake for St Kilda. Adelaide playing for pride, wanting 4 in a row. They haven't done that in their 2 seasons. Ralph Smith okay to Shanahan. Wobbly kick, important ball. Oh, Joe. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Drop punt pass is a gem. Oh, it's as good as you'll ever see. That bit of play.
There's some talent in that family.
Isn't that like a Darryl Bordoff or Ian Stewart? That was just fantastic.
Unbelievable play, Andrew Jarman.
I'd go anywhere to watch that sort of play. Look at this. And the disposal was immaculate.
Well, as you can see, I was going for a little stroll and I saw a couple, and there was the ball, and I had a little bit of a look, and there's Grinder.
It'd break your heart if you were Jarman if he misses this. That's putting the pressure on him, I know, but...
And Grinder missed the goal as well.
He has. Well,
Barnes in front. Micken just pushes him out of the road and then taps the ball out productively. McDermott, lip tack, Jarman. Andrew Jarman off the left foot. Magnificent skill.
Nice tap there by Rubbers. McDermott throws the ball to Lippy, and one of his great kicks, Lippy. The ball's there. It was a goal from straight away, and I'd like to thank all my supporters. A bit of a kiss, a bit of a cuddle. There you go. Thank you very much. I love you all.
Micken and Moncourse. Oh, Micken off the goal. Oh, unbelievable. Unreal. Well, if Dacos kicked it, you'd say par for the course. What a clever goal. 11-8.
Have a look at this, Mum. No hands.
Again, Adelaide stole the show and the Magpies flew home disappointed. The Crows then ventured to Waverley Park for a Foster's Cup night encounter against the Dogs. After beating the Blues by 40 points in their first match, the SA boys repeated the dose with a fine 39-point belting over Footscray. However, in the semi-finals of the competition, they met the Roys. The Lions were roaring. The Crows simply couldn't match Fitzroy and lost by 31 points. With the Foster's Cup out the road, round 1 of the minor series, Footscray before a capacity crowd at Football Park. A game many thought Adelaide would win and win well. But the Dogs jumped out of the box in impressive style. At quarter time, they led 6-3 to 2-3. Bad kicking for goal was always going to be Adelaide's downfall. A goalless third term gave Footscray the edge it needed. And despite a 6-goal-4 last quarter, the Dogs breezed home, 17-12 to 12-15. A bye in round 2 gave Graham Corns plenty of time to regroup, but heading to Princes Park for their first away game of the season was always going to be tough. Round 3 and Melbourne. For 3 quarters, the two sides battled neck and neck with only 1 point separating them at 3-quarter time. This time, good kicking for goal in the last term would be Adelaide's high point. 15-14 was enough to beat the Demons 13-17 and a win on Victorian soil.
That might be Melbourne's last opportunity, and there's the siren. Adelaide has won it, and it's
A week later, they returned to Princes Park to meet Fitzroy in round 4. The Crows were out for revenge after losing to the Roys during the Foster's Cup. The Crows may have led at the first change, but after that, it was all over. Fitzroy 19-16 to 14-13.
did well to get a left foot to it. Snapshot. Oh, what a great goal. Has he got that in hand?
Round 5 saw Adelaide in fine spirits, back on their home turf and their own supporters behind them. The Crows were back in business. Richmond was never in the hunt, as the Crows played a winning formula that would stay with them for the next week. 23-13 to 17-15 was a welcome return to form. Round 6 and the Brisbane Bears also at Football Park. This too was a one-horse race as far as the Crows were concerned. It may have been close at quarter time, but after that the Gold Coast connection couldn't keep it together as Adelaide ran riot. On many occasions doing trip was to Moorabbin, the Saints, Lockett and Lowe and a hostile St Kilda crowd. The Crows didn't have fond memories of their last visit to this ground. Unfortunately, things weren't about to change, despite Adelaide leading at quarter time 4-5 to 4-2. The game would be one out of the centre, and that's exactly what happened. 10-3 the Saints at half-time to 5-6. The final scoreline of 21-13-139 wasn't pleasing for the South Australian-based side, 9-11-65. In round 8, the long haul to Cardinia Park and Geelong. The less said about this game, the better. Last season's match at the same ground would haunt the Crows. A 10-goal kicking spree by the Cats in the first pretty well sums things up. The sooner the bus was called, the better, as it simply got worse. In summing up, well, let's just say Geelong had a very good day, booting home 32 goals to Adelaide's 12. Room for improvement was the order of the day when Collingwood ventured to Football Park, and the Crows showed plenty of improvement in a classic game of Aussie rules. 2 points separated the two sides at half-time, and after 3 quarters, the only difference was a straight kick. The game had everything. It was clear the side prepared to put in during the final term would take the 4 points. The Magpies' straight kicking and determination saw them through. Collingwood returning to Victoria Park, more than just happy, 9-15 to 9-10.
The quick kick comes down towards half-forward. Gary Pert ran with that. They need a quick goal. Here's a chance. Lip tack. He should have handballed it. Still a chance. Mock for a goal.
Geez, impressive. Hart here and Wren. Jarman, Hart again. Adelaide just trailed by 7 points. Good lead, Ingerson, and a good kick, and he takes it.
To the Wacker and the West Coast Eagles underlights in round 10. The weather would play a major part in this game as conditions were dreadful. The Eagles did a lot of damage in the first term, and it could be said they did enough to put themselves in a winning position. Catch-up football for the Crows all night. Although in the final 30 minutes there were some positive signs as Adelaide clawed its way back, getting a little closer to the West Coast Eagles' final score, 17-16 to 11-12.
Runs straight into Warsfold. Hart sidesteps quickly, goes for goal, kicks it very well.
Bends it back beautifully, straight through the middle.
Round 11 and light at the end of what had been a very dark 4-match tunnel. North Melbourne came to town and Adelaide came out with all guns blazing. This would be the Crows' turning point. It was tight after the first break, however Adelaide showed its worth in the second, holding a handy lead at half-time, 11-7 played 9-5. The Crows continued to sail ahead. The Kangaroos made several attempts to get back into the match, but Adelaide's defence kept them at bay. And 21-17 to 16-11 put the Crows back on track and ready for Hawthorn a week later.
Murphy's got it. Gets it away to Hart.
Loses control. Micken's hand pass is good. Lip tack to McGuinness from 50 metres.
June 8, round 12, the halfway point of the AFL season. It also marked one of Adelaide's greatest games. The venue was Waverley, the opposition final specialist Hawthorn. While early indications didn't clearly show it as a brilliant encounter, the further the game progressed, the better it became. Hawthorn always appeared to have the edge, and Adelaide was once again having trouble finishing it off when kicking for goal. At three-quarter time, the state of play was Hawthorn 11-9 to 9-12. It was the Crows' turn to say never lie down, and that's what won it for them in the end. Kicking for goal became second nature. The closing stages were unforgettable.
Still there for Lee. Off the ground, Scott Lee.
Oh, he's done it. A loose ball. This is Bickley. McGuinness, the danger man. Bickley again. Set sail for home. Mark Bickley, and don't tell me he's kicked it.
This is going to land 45 metres out. Hacked out of there.
Oh.
The hand pass to Hart. And Darryl Hart. Has it cleared the line? Yes!
We move to round 13 now, and when you think things are going your way, the strangest things can happen. Adelaide's love-hate relationship with Princess Park would continue. Carlton's home has a habit of making sides uneasy. The Crows were always around the mark, but the Blues just managed to keep their heads above water. 17-13, Adelaide 13-14.
Which way will it go?
Man in front, should have been paid. Ingerson will swing onto his left hand. He's found ground. It should run in and goal.
The woes would continue for the Crows, this time on their home turf. Essendon was belted on this ground during a pre-season match in 1991. It surely embarrassed Kevin Sheedy and the team from Windy Hill. Preparation on this occasion was more intense, and Sheedy made no bones about it. The South Australian football public would enjoy, but go home disappointed, and that's what happened. At three-quarter time, the game was up for grabs. The Crows 12-8, Essendon 11-9. However, a final 10-goal burst by the Victorians saw Adelaide kick a mere 2, and that was the ball game.
Will take it away. Casket, kick it, still with the ball. Denham, handball back. Kick by Salmon, goal.
It was time for the Crows to strut their stuff in the winner's circle. The side from the Harbour City fronted up all right, but that's about the only thing it did right. The running connection of Adelaide was back in form, and the Swans couldn't get a sniff.
Oh, read that well. Is that a free kick? No. Engo. Caught. That'll be holding the ball. Bays to bring it back in, so Graham Corn's running both Mick and Wren. Jarman was the fly. Here's Wren again. Schwerk, clever. Jarman can go for goal. Drop punt, sizes.
Without being too harsh, the Sydney boys did their best, but the Crows did far more than that, and the scoreboard said it all. An impressive victory at the right time. 22-17, 13-4, and that's round 15.
He could make him play with the left foot. I think he has. No mark in the finish to Maynard. Taken away by Matthew Liptak to the half-forward line. Over the back was Micken. Well done as he taps it on to Saliba. Saliba breaks clear from...
Never be another tonight. Come on, you got your motor running, and I got my engines on. Say the word and I will be gone. Outside the world is waiting, we won't lose control.
It was a tremendous finish of football. I don't think anybody watching would have been disappointed apart from Victorians. We've got beaten. Jeez, it's hard to cop it over here when you get beaten.
Waverley Park again, round 16. Footscray was a definite finals contender, and second on the ladder was proof enough of that. It was going to be a bad day at the office for Adelaide. Footscray was showing the Crows why it was in the top six and the South Aussies weren't. From the end of the first quarter to the final siren, Footscray had control of the ball. 22-11, 143 gave the Dogs some percentage, but little pleasure for the Crows, 8-8, 56.
Point blank range. Footscray forward line very open. He plays on again unselfishly to Grant. Grant from point blank range makes it look so simple.
A bye in the 17th round would have been well received by the Crows. Their next mission was to beat Melbourne at home. That too didn't quite go according to the wishes of the South Australian football public. It was as though the Demons were playing on their home ground and Adelaide was the visitor. In fact, Melbourne, who was 12th on the ladder, gave the Crows a football lesson.
He gives it to Roberts. He's got no one in front of him. He kicks it into the pocket. It's not a bad pass. Left half forward, not a bad kick by Charles. It's bouncing right to the line. It's a goal to Melbourne.
In fighting, boxers always claim they learn from a solid beating. The same can be said in football. Round 19 and the Crows came off the canvas to knock out Fitzroy. This bout would be the start of a great run for the Crows, a confidence booster that would show the players they can come back and be a force in this competition.
Micken to do the rough work against Brett Stevens. Brett Stevens always gives his all for the Lions. Jarman, little hand pass, Daryl Hart completes proceedings and kicks another goal. Lynch's short kick, maybe a little too high. Yes, it was. Tregenza, who's played quite well as a player in the square on his own. No, unselfishly, he goes to Daryl Hart. Daryl Hart looking for goal number 6, the handball. to Hodges. Hodges kick up into the goal square.
Adelaide couldn't do a thing wrong. Graham Corns appeared to have his Chargers playing a different brand of football. Well, that's how it looked. A final scoreline of 21-6, 132. The Lions 7-5-47. It was sweet revenge for Adelaide in many ways. However, more importantly, the side played as a team. Things would only get better.
In turn across to Lee. Now they run it out. Smart, a class player. Back into the square. Not a good kick. Micken behind.
And this run would put Adelaide firmly on the map. Round 20, the open spaces of the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Richmond was never going to be a monster threat. The Crows flew in and tamed the young Tigers. Adelaide started well, kicking 5-2 in the first and never looked back. It became a case of how much would they win by. A lead of 94 points at the third break was a beautiful thing. The hard work had paid off. The final scores are worth a mention. 24-19, 163. The Tigers not their usual roar, 7-11, 53.
Going for goal number 5, Daryl Hart, and he loves them, doesn't he?
To Carrara now and the Brisbane Bears. Round 21 would also bring joy to the Crows and their many thousands of fans back in South Australia.
Down to the forward pocket to Hodge. If he had it, lost it, didn't want it all. Wiedemann went it out. Did he ever? Free kick.
Like the Melbourne Cricket Ground, the open spaces at Carrara seemed to work well for the Crows, and they worked the ball well. It's a long trip to the Gold Coast, and even longer home when you don't win. But that wasn't going to be the case for this side. 17-8 to 11-11 saw Adelaide win 3 on the trot. As the season drew to a close, the matches would only get tougher, as Adelaide's next 3 games were against grand final prospects. First St Kilda at Football Park. A win for the Saints would guarantee them a spot in the finals. Going into the game, they were 7th and the Crows 9th. After a poor first quarter, Adelaide showed its value in the second, kicking 4 to the Saints 1. At the end of the third, there was only a kick in it and either team had a chance. On this occasion, poor kicking by the opposition would be their downfall. But credit to Adelaide's defence, their runners and their forwards. The final 6 was out of the question, but winning was still very important.
Wobbly kick, important ball. Oh, Joe. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Drop punt passes a gem.
With a club record of 4 wins behind them, even the bookies weren't keen if you wanted to back Geelong in round 23. Sitting pretty on top of the ladder with 15 wins to their credit, it was still hard to back the Crows. But that was a mistake. 5 goals against the wind in the first saw most serious punters head for the hills. The onslaught continued as the Cats got caught napping.
McGuinness. Wren from 50. Wren has goal from 50.
Geelong started to look like a grand finalist in the third, but that lasted for only a few minutes and Adelaide again was in control. But as they say, it's not over until the fat lady sings, and as she made her way to the stage, the Crows piled on another 7 to walk away easy winners.
McGrath bumped off it by McDermott. In comes Rowe. Rowe shot for goal. It looks pretty good. It's another goal.
So to Victoria Park and the final game of season 1992. It's a strange place, and unless you've been there, it's fairly hard to explain. The people just seem different, and only a goon would wear an opposing team's cap. This would be the test of all tests for the Adelaide side. 5 in a row. Could they make it 6? Well, the fairy tale had to come to an end. The Magpies struggled all day as the Crows kept in touch. The last quarter was a letdown as goals were points when only goals were needed. All the same, it was a brave effort by the young